Right, don't mention this is our Christmas episode. People get a debate about it, but don't talk about how this is a Christmas episode. It's just coming out at Christmas, okay? It's just... Hello, and welcome to the Dead Spot Cinema Club, the podcast where we select a film that has a particular pop culture significance, which one or more of us have never seen before. We then insist that they watch it and then ask for their honest reaction. Today we are Rhys.
Can we say Merry Christmas?
Andy.
I have not had sex since last Christmas.
Amy.
Hello.
And I am Mark. And you're invited to join us as we watch Die Hard. When people say action movie, 80s movie, Bruce Willis movie, or even Christmas movie, a lot of people will immediately think of Die Hard. Die Hard released in 1988 to limited theatrical release and low performance expectations, which stemmed from a packed schedule of highly anticipated action and comedy films at the same time. On top of this, critics gave the film mixed and mediocre reviews. However, it received glowing reviews from the general audience. Word of mouth led to it being a success in cinemas and the third most rented VHS in early 1989. This was the third major production from John McTiernan, who later established himself as an all-star action director of the 80s and 90s, for a CV including Predator, The Hunt for Red October, and Last Action Hero. Bruce Willis was not the first pick for the starring role, as he had not yet been tested in an action role. The choices before him included almost every established 80s action star, and even a 70-year-old Frank Sinatra. However, Bruce Willis's casting made headlines, notable for his high salary and his willingness to perform his own stunts. Following Die Hard, he was propelled into stardom and selected for bigger parts with more action and comedy roles. This was also the first feature film appearance for Alan Rickman, who was previously only known for stage performance. The cast and their freedom to improvise and make characters their own struck a chord with audiences and made Die Hard and its actors unforgettable to the audience. The film's legacy lives on in a cult film status. Whether a stolen line, a recreation of a famous scene, or a jokey debate over whether it qualifies as a Christmas film, it's undeniable that Die Hard has made an impact on pop culture. I do enjoy the film. Compared to the other generic 80s action films out there, it does rise above it, but I don't really have a special place in my heart for it. I can go years without watching it, but I do hold it in high esteem. I do think it's a good film. How about you, Andy? Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I have seen it many, many times. Normally I watch it around Christmas time, as it is a Christmas film, in my opinion.
You're on that side of the fence, okay.
Yes. We'll get into that later. My first interaction with Die Hard was not the film. It was the PlayStation 1 game, and that was a pile of crap. It was just like a top-down game where you're going around hunting people, and it wasn't even true to the film. It was just 99 levels that you had to go through, but you can't judge a movie based on its PlayStation game.
That's true. Yeah.
I did watch it later on in life, and I fell in love with it. It is a great action film, and it's not massively over the top. There are over the top bits, of course, as all action films have, but this one felt quite grounded, and that's had a special place in my heart.
How about you, Amy? Have you seen it?
Yeah, I'm a normal person, so I've seen Die Hard quite a few times. Offense intended there, Rhys.
We wouldn't have this fucking podcast if it wasn't for how much I haven't seen. So chill out, is it?
If it wasn't for you, yeah. I can't pinpoint the time I first watched this. We would have had it on VHS. So whether I started watching it as a teenager, it was definitely big for me around 16, 17. That's when kind of everyone, friends around me, all the guys were watching this again and again and listening to the Die Hard song, which is maybe one of the best songs about a film ever.
The Die Hard song?
So good, but I couldn't sing it to you because I won't. And it, it also has the plot of the first 4 films as each verse, but it is very, very good.
First how many films?
So many.
Don't worry, we're not asking you to watch the sequels.
No.
I honestly thought this was a one-off film.
For anyone that wants to find the song, it is by a band called Guys Night.
Mm-hmm. Guys with a Z?
Yes.
Maybe. Shows you how classy it is. Normally my Christmas Eve, nighttime film, so it's going to be weird watching it now.
It's nearly Christmas.
So that leaves you, Rhys.
Yeah, obviously I haven't seen this film because it's popular and it's good, probably. I don't know why this has escaped my life for so long, right? It's become a bit of a running joke. Every Christmas, it's the same debates going on, and every Christmas, I go, I haven't seen it, and everyone berates me for it, and I never do anything about it, and I really don't know why, because it sounds like my type of movie. Like, everything I hear about it sounds great. Everyone I know that likes it, I trust their opinion a lot of the time. So I don't know what's kept me from it, but I think it just came out too early for me to get caught up in, well, obviously way earlier than when I was actually old enough to be watching stuff. And then I just think I wasn't with a group that were getting into old movies. We had, like, I don't know, we did sports and girlfriends and stuff. So we then, I think it just became a little bit distant. And then I think it just gets to a point where you identify so much as having not seen Die Hard. It's almost like you have to not see Die Hard. I'll only be on this side of my life once. And as soon as I've seen it, I no longer get to say I haven't seen it every year. And, like, that's a little bit upsetting. I'm not going to lie, because every year I get that input in the debate of, like, I've not seen it. But I'm actually really excited that I'm going to have an opinion on whether it's a Christmas movie at some point.
So for me, it was released a year before I was born, so I have no idea when I first watched it.
You might have been conceived during Die Hard.
Wow, yeah, and I thought of that. It was popular with our friend group in the early to mid 2000s. I think my friends enjoyed it more than me, but the fun was there in regularly sharing quotes, and it was kind of the in-joke to just spit out these quotes out of context. So, Rhys, as you're the only one who hasn't seen it, we've prepared a mini game for you.
Amazing.
So we've got some quotes from the film, and we want you to try and fill in the blanks.
Is this when you get, like, Bruce Willis on Cameo?
That would be great. No, you've just got Andy, unfortunately.
You do your best voice of whoever does the quote, please.
Oh, God. No, that'll give away too much plot. It's better out
Too
of context.
much plot.
Trust me.
Oh, God.
To be fair, all of these quotes, there are 5 quotes for you. 4 of them are said by the same person, I've just realised. If you can guess the context of what's going on around the quote, that'll, bonus points. But if you can just give us a word for the blank, I'm happy with that.
We're not going to give away if you're right or not. We're just going to admire your answers.
I think I'll be all right with this. I think Die Hard has leaked so much into everything else that I might get
you've probably heard
some of this.
Let's start nice and easy. Yippee-ki-yay, blank.
Motherfucker. I know that. What do you want? Some context?
Go on.
To me, that is like a post-killing spree line. Like, that is like, drop into a room, spin around with your Uzis, everyone's down, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That's what I'm going with that.
Okay.
Number 2. Now I have a blank. Ho, ho, ho.
Now I have a winter of our discontent.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho. I'm gonna go with now I have a stocking.
Okay.
Ho ho ho.
Love it.
And it's because he steals someone's foot.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, close.
Okay, number 3.
So that's 2 from 2 so far.
Welcome to the blank, pal.
Danger zone.
It is the 80s, yeah.
Presumably you guys know these just like
Yeah.
they're straight off the top of your head as soon as he says it.
Yeah.
You know, like, the scene, the moment, the words, yeah?
Yeah,
To be
pretty
fair,
much.
that third one took me a second.
I'll be honest, the very last one is a bit of a weird one. So if Mark can pull where it comes from just hearing it, I'll be very impressed. Anyway, on to number 4. Come out to the coast. We'll get together. Have a few blank.
Drinks.
Any context?
I think that's somebody telling Brucey not to go and do the dangerous thing. Just come to the coast and have some drinks and we'll retire in peace and harmony, bro.
Cool. Okay, and
Reasonable.
your last one. Blank. Who gives a shit about blank?
Jesus? Who gives a shit about Jesus?
In a Christmas film?
Love it. Give me that context.
For me, it's like, I don't know, he's fallen over or he's pushed someone over onto a nativity scene, or he's like using the Jesus from a nativity scene to like wail on a bad guy. And there's a bystander being like, you can't do that to Jesus. And he goes, Jesus, who gives a shit about Jesus? Then he's like just wailing on this guy still. That's almost certainly what happens.
Can't believe he got 5 out of 5 and ruined our idea.
It's going to be fun to watch it. And I'll be like, it wasn't Jesus.
So, Rhys, what's your impression of what this film is?
Oh, okay. Good point. Die Hard, it seems to have been mentioned in basically every sitcom I've ever seen. And most movies. So it's been really hard to escape references. Like, I could list them, but I'd be here forever. I feel like I should know it more than I do. I think there's a character called John McClane, and that's Bruce Willis. I've seen a Christmas decoration that says it's Die Hard, and it's a big tower. So I'm guessing there's a tower in it somewhere. And I learned today that Alan Rickman's in this movie.
Spoilers, sorry.
So I expect that he's going to get up to some... He's got to be a bad guy. Like, he is a bad guy. Wait, is he? I don't think he is.
He's dead.
Fucking... Yeah, he was the worst. I feel like I've heard that the bad guy's not American or British. So now I'm sensing Alan Rickman might be doing an accent.
Is that prediction number 1?
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. But I think Alan Rickman's playing an ethnicity he's got no business playing, and that he's like the main bad guy probably. And they're going to be on a tower.
Do you want to guess the ethnicity?
No, no, thank you. What else do I know? So I'd heard a few of the little lines like "Yippee-ki-yay." I feel like I've seen a still of Bruce Willis in an air duct. And I think that's probably from it. So he's wearing like a white vest. So at some point, I'm guessing he's sneaking through this tower. And I can only assume he's some kind of policeman. And he's going to kill the bad guy. And on his way up there, he's going to kill a fucking load of bad guys. And it's around Christmas time. I can only assume it's going to be set at Christmas. Because then otherwise, I have no idea what would make it a Christmas film. Or maybe a Christmas film. And equally, I'm going to go ahead and throw this prediction in there. If it's set at Christmas time, it's definitely a Christmas film. That's a fact. If it's set on Christmas and I see a Christmas tree and Christmas is mentioned, it's a Christmas film. So my prediction is this is a Christmas film, and I feel that way after I've watched it. But yeah, beyond that, I don't know anyone else is going to be in it. Don't know anything that's going to happen apart from people getting killed. Yeah, I sense I like it. 80s, guns, action, cheesy one-liners. Bruce Willis was in a lot of good movies around then, and I haven't seen one I've not enjoyed with him in it, to be fair. Apart from Armageddon, that was a bit shit. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Like I say, I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm going to have to stop saying I've not seen Die Hard, because I started a lot of conversations. It's been a good icebreaker a lot of times, so I'll just have to start lying, I guess. But yeah, I am excited.
Cool. So, do we have any warnings for Rhys about the film?
I've been thinking about this, and I can't think of anything that stands out. I can't think of any like homophobia. I can't think of any sexism. No, I haven't seen it since last Christmas, so maybe I just can't remember, but I think it stands up.
Andy has said everything that happens in Die Hard is okay.
He agrees.
He
It's
agrees
okay.
wholeheartedly with everything said.
All values expressed in Die Hard in 1980, whatever. Andy is willing to take the punt that he is fully in support of all values held and displayed. They're coming to get you. You've been cancelled already. We just fucking said it.
Well, can you guys think of anything that might not fly today?
I don't think there's anything that would be an issue. If anything, there's things that would have been more of an issue when it came out than they are now.
Bruce Willis hadn't done this kind of role before, so he may not be as refined as you expect him to be. But I don't think it's noticeable or negative unless you're looking for it, so I probably shouldn't have said anything. That's it, really. It's quite light. It's violent, so maybe not with children, but it's light watching.
I think that's exactly what I need. I will enjoy watching that. I think we've done a lot of heavy movies, and I think some light action would be lovely.
Oh, there is one mention of cannibalism. I'll give it that.
Wouldn't be Christmas without it. We'll leave it there then, and we'll leave you to go and watch Die Hard. We'll meet back here once we've all seen it.
Well, I hope you enjoy it, Rhys.
Thanks, I think I will. Yippee-ki-yay.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And we're back. We should have now all seen Die Hard. Rhys, how did you find it?
Very much enjoyed it, I think.
Cool. Do you want to take us through your notes?
So I loaded up Prime, where I was going to buy it from, and searched Die Hard. And the first thing that came up was Die Hard 4.0. And then I was like, there's at least 4 of these fucking things. So that took me by surprise. But yeah, that was something. So anyway, I got into it. I was very excited, and I paid $9.99 for the pleasure, which seems like a lot for a movie from 1980 whatever, but you know, it's worth all the money we make, I think. So it opened up, and I think when the movie opened, I vaguely remembered a scene from The Office where I had Die Hard referenced without really remembering, because they were talking about a plane touching down, and the first line of it was like, "Scared of flying, huh?" or something like that.
You don't like flying, do you?
What gives you that idea?
So yeah, it was opened on him in a plane. It seemed like he was scared of heights or scared of flying. And him and a stranger just chatting about a fear of landing. I thought this was going to lead into something way bigger. It absolutely didn't have any bearing on the movie whatsoever, because he goes in a massive tower and he's fine. So nothing to do with heights or flying. We find out that Bruce Willis is in the movie and he's a cop, and then has a massive like teddy bear, and then goes into an airport and really ages the film then, because he goes into the carousel bit and just lights up a cigarette while he's like holding this massive teddy bear in one hand and centimeters away lighting up a fag, like, yeah, daughter's gonna love this bear, just breathing all the smoke over it.
Yeah.
Then we cut to a fancy party happening in a place called the Nakatomi Corporation. And then there was a lot of times during this movie where I was watching it, and I know in the pre-watch I'd only been able to identify like a couple of references, but there were so many little bits where I was like, oh shit, I know what's happening next, because there actually is a reference. I just had no idea it was a Die Hard reference. So I'd heard of Nakatomi Tower before, and Nakatomi Plaza. So as soon as I saw Nakatomi Corporation, I put in big capital letters, Nakatomi Plaza, because I got excited. And then the boss shouts down, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So that's one box ticked for whether it's a Christmas movie or not. Then creepy dude, who I thought's name was Harry, and it might be Harry for a little bit in my notes, but it turns out it's Ellis.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was Harry for a bit. I think I just misread the subtitles.
I think he does shout Harry to someone else before he talks to Ellis, so that will be why.
Yeah. I've just seen the name
So it's
in the
not your
subtitles.
fault.
Yeah. I was 100%. I can go on my phone once during this movie, so I was paying attention, I promise.
Wow.
I know. So then he's hitting on someone called Ms. Gennaro, and then Ms. Gennaro goes to a pregnant woman and tells her to go have some booze, which is just fine. And then she says the little one won't mind a sip. I was like, that's not all right, is it? And then I had a bit of a flashback to Andy saying everything in this movie is fine. So that's going to come up a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I'm gonna refer back to that a couple times, because while I watched this, I was like, "Oh, weird that Andy's a fan of this," but okay.
Okay.
No,
watching this.
You said it. You stood by it. We all gave you a chance to back out, and you doubled down. Then we find out John is in California because he just says something about California. I was like, okay, cool. And then he's getting a limo, which didn't make any sense to me. I don't know why he's got a limo. And then he sits in the front of the limo with the driver, which confused me as well. So what's he doing in the front of the limo? He's just put the teddy bear in the back. I don't know if he was trying to do like I'm one of you. I'm working class. I'm going to sit in the front with you kind of thing.
I think it was him trying to say, "Oh, I'm not used to all this fancy stuff. I'm just a cop from Philly."
Yeah, but it just made it weirder, because then he's sitting next to the driver, but then asking him not to do small talk. Well, you've chosen to sat next to him, mate. Like, he would have been happy if you just sat in the back and closed the screen. Everyone would have been. And then I've put, oh wow, the driver said, "Are you divorced? Separated? She beats you up?" I was like, Andy, are you sure that
Andy endorsed the message.
Have we got some sort of tally to see how many times
Oh, we could do.
Andy's judgment was a bit
Do it in the
questionable.
edit.
I do, in my notes, I do have in stars making fun of domestic violence. Probably not great. Didn't remember that.
Probably.
2 thumbs up from Andy.
I mean, it probably wasn't great back then. It's not
Saying
good now.
probably.
People listening to this heard you not 2 minutes ago say, I don't think anything's aged in this. Do you know? I think everything would be fine.
Well, that statement may come back to bite me in the ass.
That statement has aged. Okay. John says he's hoping to win his ex back. He's playing it cool, but clearly he's in a bit of pain, which I think you mentioned that Bruce was a little bit he wasn't so much a seasoned actor in this, Mark. But I thought throughout he did a good job of being that kind of a little bit vulnerable, but kind of hidden.
Yeah, he wasn't an established action star. He'd been in some major productions, but not action films. This was novel in the 80s action scene to have a vulnerable hero, like someone who's, he's a bit self-deprecating, he's a bit bitter, he doesn't have all the answers, he doubts himself. That's novel for this.
Yeah, he was known more as a comedy actor at this point because of a TV show he was on called Moonlighting.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he definitely puts that across well, and I think that'll come through a little bit more, being that kind of not like every other action movie, which is nice. Oh gosh, what happened next? Oh, he goes into the tower. They've got like a touchscreen thing, which is wild because it was 1988, but it was really cool. But a data protection nightmare because it just had everybody's full name. He didn't have to say who he was or anything. He just went in and went, "I'm near to see someone," and he was like, "Yeah, just look through the directory and I'll tell you exactly where they are." And that's their full names, kids' date of births, and social security numbers. Just do what you want, mate.
The worst thing is that that definitely wasn't touchscreen. It was just timed on a screen for him to press the right time, wasn't it? Just
Yeah, that was good though. He noticed that she's changed her surname, which again, just he's like in a little bit of pain with it, but he's not super shocked. So I was kind of like, I wonder what this relationship's like, because he just went, "Oh Christ!" It was kind of, he was almost expecting it, but you can tell it's cut him, which was a lot of character development in very few dialogue lines from him. And then we go up to the party, and I can see a Christmas tree in the background, so that's it. It's official. It's a Christmas movie. It's set at Christmas time, literally Christmas Eve. I've seen a Christmas tree, and they've said Merry Christmas. They say it like a bunch more times as well. So we can probably talk about it later, but I'm struggling to see this not being a Christmas movie, to be honest.
Does had a Christmas song in the car on the ride over.
I did. A man kisses him and he kind of likes it, which, again, that for a cop in an 80s action movie, getting kissed by a man and just sort of laughing it off, yeah, I like that. Big fan of that.
Yeah. California, eh?
Yeah, that was refreshing, to be fair. Then they say that there's some construction ongoing. I assumed this was going to be a bit of foreshadowing about how the baddies are going to get in. I was like, oh, they're going to be like dressed as a construction team or something, or they'll already be in the building working on the construction. But it didn't really seem to be relevant at all that the place was under construction, apart from just that there was more cool shit for him to swing from and throw people into later.
Yeah, a lot of empty floors.
It just made the props jobs easier a little bit, I guess. Harry's just doing coke in front of his boss. Not Harry, Ellis. He's just there at the table doing some coke, and Bruce comes in and calls him out. The boss clearly knows he's doing coke. He's a policeman. Just such a weird interaction.
Yeah, I forgot about that too.
Yeah, but no, that was fine. Big thumbs up from Big Andy.
Doing coke at work.
I'm just going to say now, just Ellis in general. I forgot about him. And
You would forget about him, you apologist. I skipped over the bit where he was like chatting up a married woman and barely letting her get to her office, but that's fine. They get reunited. They both seem happy, but it's a bit awkward because they're by her colleagues, so it's kind of hard to see how invested she is in this reuniting and like whether there would have been a big hug and kiss if they weren't there. So again, I'm at a loss for what this relationship is right now. So I'm still kind of guessing. Keeps cutting out to a baddie lorry out in the road with just foreboding music. So I'm like, all right, that's got baddies in it, I guess.
It's a simple film. It doesn't try to be complex.
No, I'm getting that. Bruce needs to go and wash up, and then he's got his white vest on. So now I reckon it's about to go down, because I know that for some action bits he's wearing a white vest, and I'm like, this is the only time it makes sense for him to be in it, so I guess it's about to go down. He's got a really gnarly scar on his armpit, which never gets explained, and now I'm wondering if that's just Bruce Willis's scar?
It is. When he was 17, he broke his arm and had to have surgery. I looked that up because I was like, is that scar like from his holster?
Backstory.
But no, yeah, it's just Bruce Willis has a giant ass scar.
That's pretty badass, to be fair. I just made a note on, and this is just, I just get a little bit unnecessarily focused on this, on the body shape of men in movies, I think. But I just think it's cool that we're watching an action hero movie and he's got like a relatively normal body. Like, he's standing there in his vest. He's not like rippling with muscles. He's not obviously not out of shape, but he's not like rippling with muscles. There's no men watching this being like, well, that's just bullshit. I'm never going to look like that. Potentially why dads love this so much is because it's not like Arnie and Stallone where you're watching it and you're like, well, I'm never going to fucking look like that. They've been doing 8 million crunches before they've gone on set. He's just a normal guy. He's in good shape. And again, that just gave a little bit more to him being slightly vulnerable and being a bit human, I think. And the fact he did the whole thing with no shoes on as well. Like, just a bit vulnerable and a bit normal. It was nice.
Did you clock why he wasn't wearing shoes at that point?
I did not know why he was not wearing shoes.
So it's that conversation with the man on the plane. He told him one of the cures for jet lag is to crunch your toe, make fists with your toes on carpet.
Yes, I forgot about that.
So he tried it, and that's why he's not wearing shoes.
I did make a note of that. That's a grounding technique for anxiety. Like, that's quite a well-known one. And I know they dressed it up as just a fear of flying and jet lag type thing, but that's legitimately, that was two middle-aged men saying that anti-anxiety treatments are nice and help. And then he just confirms it to himself. Says, oh yeah, that works nice. I was like, yeah, therapy's good.
Therapy's good, 80s men.
Yeah, it's a nice little nod, I thought. So then the baddie lorry again, more foreboding music. I feel like I'm going to kick myself when I see the cast list, but I don't recognise anyone so far, because this is when you start seeing like all the baddies coming out. You get a good face shot of everyone involved. And I was like, well, this is a huge movie. These guys are probably in movies I'm seeing now. But I looked at the cast list in the credits at the end, and I didn't recognise a single fucking name. So I didn't feel too bad. But all of them looked a little bit familiar. I assume they just went on to do more henchman stuff in action movies.
There's none I'm aware of that went on to be big stars, apart from Alan Rickman.
Alan who?
Yeah, they all just seem to be like background actors, really, don't they?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. They were almost extras. Apart from just, action. They did a bit of fighting, I guess, and stuntmen. It's almost like you didn't need them to be actors. You could have just got the stuntmen to do it. Blonde guy comes in, shoots the security guard. He didn't need to get a shot. He wouldn't have been an obstruction at all. They could have just said where they would go and he would have let them up. Like, that's what he did with Bruce. And then the whole goon squad is unloaded from the lorry, including what I initially thought was Edward Norton, but turns out to be Alan Rickman.
Yeah, see it.
I wouldn't have, until he starts talking, I could have had 45 guesses and I wouldn't have told you that was Alan Rickman.
Was Tom Green on your list?
Tom Green
as well?
was up there. Who else was on there? Yeah, Edward Norton, just Raj Al Ghul.
Yeah.
I just couldn't stop seeing Edward Norton in that movie he's in with a goatee. But there we are, it's Alan Rickman. And then the subtitles just said German. So there was talking.
Good, bad.
The subtitles just said German. So then I'm begging to hear what Alan Rickman's going to sound like, because I think I've mentioned earlier I was expecting him to have a bad accent. Then kind of a bit of a smooth heist movie style entrance from the Goon Squad. They all seem to know what they're doing. They target their little bits and they crack on, which was kind of cool, and I couldn't quite keep up with what was going on. So that was nice to see that these were some baddies that had a plan, and we weren't just going to be up against like mindless action hero baddies. This was like, oh no, this is a heist movie that's trying to be undone. It's not just like go and kill the baddies, it's like go and undo the heist, which I could get on board with. Argyle is naturally being a professional. He's just sat in the back of a limo vibing the whole time. I don't really understand how
Gotta stay on the
how's
job.
he landed this job? He's stealing a living, honestly. His job is to drive that limo once and then just get pissed in the back of it.
Yeah, who says like, "Oh, my boss thinks I'm on my way to Vegas." It's like, this is your first day as a limo driver, and you're already like lying to your boss and stealing
Weird.
limo.
Yeah, I wonder how he got fired as a cab driver.
So then the blonde German guys are arguing between doing something with wires and chainsawing some tubes. I'm not sure who won the argument, but the phone went dead. So I think they both got what they needed to get done. They were doing something. He was like arguing with the other one, and he just chainsaws through some plastic tubes, which I couldn't tell did anything. They were just empty tubes, but then the phone went dead. So I guess they were phone tubes.
Don't they have the wires in?
Yeah, he's fiddling with the wires, trying to do it like technically, and the other guy's cutting it. But then he looks relieved that he gets the wires done in time when the guys cut them anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but some kind of technical thing.
Yeah, I was too dumb to understand that one, obviously.
Just didn't make sense.
Nah, it's just extra drama for the sake of
Yeah.
it.
And then we never see the chainsaw again, which seems like a waste. Goon Squad come out of the lift fully loaded, guns in hand, just packed in this lift like sardines, and they all just pour out of it, aiming their rifles within meters of partygoers. And for 10 full seconds, nobody makes a noise. No one notices them. Nobody moves. And then they just open fire. It's hard to tell what they're targeting, who they're shooting, because we're just hearing gunshots. Like, I don't know if they're shooting in the sky. I don't know if they're killing a few of them. But it just goes full panic mode. And it gets really kind of fast-paced for a couple of minutes, which is, I think, done really nicely. Because you've kind of quickly gone from Bruce and I can't remember her first name, Holly. You got Bruce and Holly in the bathroom having a bit of an argument, but it's quite low pace. And then all of a sudden it's just gone to shit. And like the panic and the unpreparedness is nice. Because again, you don't really get that with action movies. Often there's like the hero is sent in fully loaded. And this is like, he's just getting caught off guard. He's half dressed. He's scrambling around for a gun that he's got in his bag somewhere. Then there's just some tits because they're clearing the rooms and there's just this woman just not wearing any clothes and they just drag her out of the room where she was canoodling. So you just get a full-on view of some boobies.
I don't remember this.
Not watching the right version?
I had the censored version.
There were gratuitous tits a few times in this movie, like for no reason. So yeah, then they Triple H and Edge just go around clearing the rooms.
Lovely. Love that.
Round up the party guests. Harry is freaking out. I keep putting Harry. It's Ellis. Ellis is freaking out and just absolutely buzzing.
No, it's Saruman.
So yeah, he's just buzzing on coke and freaking out, which is quite funny. John's got his pistol, but he's just cutting about in a vest and socks. Sees another almost naked girl in a window across the way. Don't know why we're zooming in on that girl. Nothing happens with that. And I just thought there and then this movie could be over. He's got a pistol. He could just shoot that girl's window. Just shoot the window. She gets alarmed, calls the police, says there's a shooter from the tower. Job done. But he didn't do that. I'm just smarter than John McClane, I guess. It's a cross I have to bear. Then Alan Rickman starts talking. I think it's a good 30 minutes of the film between now and when I realise what accent he's trying to do. So initially I'm like, oh, cool. He's just playing a British guy. Like, no need to worry. He's not doing a really poor accent. He's just being British. And then he has like a few inflections on some things. I'm like, no, wait, is this Rickman doing American? I couldn't quite get it because he had a few little twings. And obviously later it seems to be that he's doing German. He just must not have met any German people ever. Baffling. So as far as I can tell, he's just doing a British accent. And then there's like a couple of words where he goes a bit camp. That's about it. So then the next bit that Andy reckons is okay.
Oh, God.
So Alan Rickman, we'll call him Hans, is trying to identify who Takagi is. So he identifies 3 people in the crowd that he decides could be Takagi.
Yeah, he profiles, doesn't he?
Not sure what criteria he's trying to meet in his head, but he circles around 3 particular gentlemen. Ignores everybody else and then eventually identifies Takagi.
It couldn't have been a white guy married into a family.
No
couldn't it?
way.
Well, he knows his entire life and his parents' lineage. I think it's fair to assume he knows
But not what he
ethnicity
looks like.
He's got an idea of what he looks like.
Yeah, that's
Couldn't
weird.
find a photo.
It looks like birth, education, blood type, Eyes, no
Oh,
idea.
do they all look the same to him?
Ooh. And either way, Andy says 2 thumbs up. So he obviously nicks Mr. Takagi. So then we get a view of them loading a massive missile-looking thing into a lift. So that sounds like it's going to be a drama. He's asking for some passwords from Takagi. Takagi thinks that they're going to try and blackmail the members of the board or something, which seems very complicated. And Rickman's like, no, we just want all that money you've got downstairs. Why? What? Well, we just want your money. And then he says, what kind of terrorists are you? Who said we were terrorists? And that's literally what I thought as well. I was like, why is terrorists your first assumption? I know later Hans tries to, part of his plan is to make people think they're terrorists. But why is terrorists his go-to when some people break into a building and ask to steal his shit? It's not a common crime, terrorism. That seems like a weird one to jump.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the fact it's just because they're from another country and they're jumping in violently. He assumes that, but
I think in the book it's based off they are terrorists, so maybe that's more. Rhys seems surprised.
There's a book this is based off?
Yeah, it says it in the opening credits, based on a book by blah blah blah.
No idea.
It's based on the second in a series of books, which is why they had to offer it to Frank Sinatra first, wasn't it? Because he was he played the character in the first book adaptation in a series or something.
Something like that, yeah.
They offered this to Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
A 70-year-old man at the time, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wild. So then I put, in this situation, who the fuck isn't giving up the code? He's rich. He has a lot to lose. He has 5 kids and a wife. He's already said that he doesn't think anything can really be gotten from the codes. In what world are you so loyal to your company that you are having a gun to your head and being like, no, I'm not giving you the password? That doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe he wanted to steal the money.
But he's going to die. Anyone in that situation is going to be like, I'm going to fucking die or I'm going to give this guy the code. If the plot device doesn't make sense to me, why do that?
He's just an honourable guy.
Presumably they'd have insurance as well against such things.
Yeah. I was thinking that. Surely it's insured if you're this savvy of a businessman.
I can imagine any of your jobs, though. Imagine someone coming in and asking for anything with a gun to your head.
I've had it, mate. Have fun.
Fucking take whatever you want. I don't care. Even if we're not insured, even if I lose my job, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to die. Jesus. Yeah, it was wild. So then he's dead. And I was like, yeah, he deserves it. He's a moron. Should have just given the codes up. So for future reference, I now know what Edge's name is. It's Carl, but I'm probably just going to call him Edge. And then there's someone called Heinrich. And I am doing that thing I do when I watch a film where I'm so conscious I'm going to forget everybody's name. I'm writing names down as I go along.
Like John McClane.
Like John McClane, who I keep calling Bruce. And I can't, for the life of me, spell McClane or remember it. I keep saying in my head, I'm like, McCain, McClane, McClune, McCone. Like, that's one of them. Then cut to Argyle. He's on the phone in the limo. Just Heinrich. He's the one with curly blonde hair. So I'm going to remember Heinrich. And says, Hans, we are on the roof. So now I know one of them's called Hans because I don't know that yet about Rickman. And then I said, I feel like I've heard the name Hans now. Another thing that I didn't know I knew the name Hans Gruber. Not sure why, but at some point the name Hans Gruber has been used. I just didn't know that was a Die Hard thing. So I now know he's Hans, but I forgot Gruber until I heard Gruber. So I thought he was Hans Zimmer. Yeah. It's just a bit stupid. I'm not ashamed of.
Amy, do you want to explain who Hans Zimmer is for our audience that might not know?
Hans Zimmer is a composer of quite a lot of theme music. Obviously other things, but yeah.
Not a German terrorist.
He's not a German terrorist.
No.
Twins.
At time of recording.
I was just about to say that. I've got a caveat everything we say nowadays. You never know.
He is from West Germany, though, Hansen.
He's probably got a pass, then, Brucey is then talking to himself, probably giving us a little bit of a look into his psyche, because he's up on one of the higher floors. He's like, what are you going to fucking do? You should have done this. Why didn't you shoot him? Because now you'd be dead. Okay, he's kind of justifying what he's just done. Which, again, you just don't see a lot of that, which is kind of cool. Then he pulls the fire alarm. That doesn't do anything useful. He's going a little bit crazy because he then sees the police come and then go away. Then a fancy German man in jeggings comes looking for him and says, I promise I won't hurt you. and then immediately just sprays his
Opens fire,
machine
yeah.
gun somewhere he might be hiding. So I think he does want to hurt him.
You think they're lying?
Yeah, I think they're lying. John does a cool distraction with the power saw, and then just like, boom, I'm here, motherfucker. And then I caught a glimpse of his tattoo, and then I have another question about Bruce Willis's body. Lots of them going on in my head at the moment. What is his tattoo? And is that the character's tattoo or Bruce's tattoo?
I didn't look that up.
Guess what you could do right now?
Fuck you. I mean, if it's real, he got it covered up much later on because he's got a sleeve now.
Yeah, he's got a sleeve now.
He's got a sleeve.
Yeah, he's also got dementia.
I don't think you can get that in a tattoo store. And then pulls his gun on the German guy, the one with the jeggings. And then the German guy's like, there are rules for policemen. You won't hurt me. I'm like, bro, read a book.
Police in America don't hurt civilians.
I mean, you know, there was a police force in Germany that used to hurt quite a few people too, but then they fall down the stairs together. It's really romantic, and that is enough to kind of write this guy off. He doesn't seem to do any more.
He snaps his neck
Yeah.
by mistake.
And it's quite a clean kill, but from this point on, Bruce Willis covered in blood. All over his back, his front, he's covered in blood. I don't know how that happens. Maybe just a little bit of a nosebleed. This is the point where I think I remembered Mark mentioned that Bruce was doing some of his own stunts. And that's when maybe this becomes a little bit clearer, because like he looked really normal earlier when he was doing a bit of wash up and he was just chatting to his wife. He looks like he's been working out now. He looks like he's done a few reps. He's got some vascularity. He's got a bit of a pump on. He's starting to look like an action hero. And I guess that's one of those unseen benefits of doing some of your own shit, is that you look like you're going through what your character's going through. So again, that was a cool bit of storytelling that Bruce's body was doing. Again, I think I got a bit too fixated on Bruce Willis's body in this episode. Then my next note is just hacking, all caps, just hacking. Theo's just there doing computer stuff, and then he just does some hacking, and then there's a drill. I don't think anybody knows what's happening there.
The drill is used for hacking.
Actually, it's a hacking drill. You play Payday.
And then, yeah, I've just written more notes about Bruce's body and his muscles and his veins.
Just skip through those.
It's a little bit telling when I read this back, actually. Then he climbs up through an elevator shaft and gets his first entry on WikiFeet.
Oh, you missed the bit where he loots the body.
He loots the body?
Yeah, he like takes the lighter, he tries on his shoes. You know, got to kill a guy, got to loot his body.
Totally missed that bit. Yeah, I don't remember that at all. Okay, fair.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to find shoes that fit.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. He's like a 9.5, and everyone's a 9 or a 10. Oh, it's the worst. Everyone gets told about Takagi being dead. Then the elevator opens. Probably the best bit of the movie. Old Jeggings guy is sat there looking like a Hannibal victim with written on his jumper, "Now I have a machine gun, ho ho ho." And that's the first quote that I remember from Andy. And yeah.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Awesome, like really awesome thing to happen, because John has just become Hannibal, stalking these baddies and making them scared. That was really badass. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it turns it on its head a bit that he's become like the thing they fear, crawling around in the vents.
Yeah.
Like you say at the start, like it's a heist film, but you're not following the heisters. You're trying to stop the heist, and now he's also the thing the heisters fear. That, you know, this predator just turns it on its head a little bit.
Yeah. At this point, they don't know who he is, where he's come from, or anything. So he hears this element of fear for them, and it's really cool. Rickman, we then find out his name is Hans. So then I've put, so apparently he's German. In that case, it's really not a good accent, but thank God, because I think I'd rather that than have proper German Rickman. That would probably be way worse. I think he saved himself here. Then this is where Bruce Willis and I have something in common, because he's learning all their names and he's writing them on his wrist for the podcast as well. Hans and Edge are arguing about Bruce. I'm nervous about him not having shoes on. Yeah, he's still not got shoes on. And at this point, the thing that I wasn't liking, he was like running up some steel stairs and you could hear the sound of the impact of his feet on the stairs. I was like, I know that fucking hurt. Thinking about John McClane running around this tower with no shoes on, it would stress me out a little bit. I don't like having to just pop out to the car with no shoes on. it's a weird thought to have to be in action mode with no shoes on. John is then on the roof. Initially, I was thinking, like, yeah, you're up there now, call for some help. But then I kind of thought, he's been quite badass and there's only 6 guys, so I think he's going to be all right. It was this thing where all of a sudden I was rooting for him to just solo it. Usually in things like this, I'm like, no, go get help. This is the thing you do now. There's loads of baddies, go get help. And now you got this. You've taken one with relative ease. They seem pretty threatened already. You'd be fine. He puts a call out on the radio, which is heard by... I didn't catch where these people were from, but they were uniformed people who had the wildest response ever to a call for help. They said, this line is for emergencies only. That's such a strange response from an emergency call. Obviously, the reaction of Bruce going, no fucking shit, lady, do you think I'm ordering a pizza? Great, fantastic stuff. That's some mad neglect. Like, what's their job?
I think because he's got a civilian walkie-talkie, he's just basically found the radio frequency this control room's on. So they're not expecting it to come through in that format, I guess. Maybe they're meant to use that radio to message out to units, and then just suddenly they've received this. But
you know, they're in some kind of uniformed service, which is probably some kind of service to the public. And then they refer to the police unit as a black and white, so they've got some kind of familiarity with the police. So you'd think they'd take this a bit more seriously.
I thought it was some kind of police headquarters or something, yeah.
But again, I guess just, companies that are meant to protect civil liberties just ignoring calls for help from citizens. Just big okay from Andy. So then we cut to a policeman in a shop getting some junk food, pregnant wife, and then the equally fat dude at the till starts fat shaming him, which is weird. It's just like, yeah, sure, these are for you. Fuck you! What are you arguing about here? He's just buying some stuff and being friendly.
Literally paying for your job. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, if not people buying junk food for their pregnant wives, who the fuck is buying that shit at 3 a.m. or whatever time it is? That cop obviously gets the call to the plaza, and then we kind of cut to the firefight on the rooftop, which is, I guess, where you get a sense of the size of the city, because you've just seen the cop looking at the tower and being like, oh, there's nothing wrong there. And then we've got like a really loud gunfight happening at the top of it. So you're like, oh shit, it must be so ambient noise and light polluted at the bottom that you can't even tell there's guns going off at the top. John has to like duck behind the thing, and then I feel like firing 20 rounds into a door just to open it when you're limited on rounds. We've already seen he's only got 3 magazines and he's using full auto, is dumb as fuck, and it was stressing me out, but there we go, he gets through the door. Then some good shit like sneaking through the fan. He really enjoys propping things open that should not be propped open, doesn't he? It's like a special move. I'm going to get this thing and prop this mechanical thing in this way and then go through. He does it with lift doors a couple of times. He does it with the fan. And it's good shit, honestly. It's good shit. So he sneaks through this fan, climbs down the ladder, needless tits on a calendar as he's walking past then.
Yeah, and he slaps it and goes, girls.
Girl. Like he's on a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Found the tits in the air vent. Next.
Yeah, it means nothing.
Did they have to meet a quota of tits or something? Because none of them were, they're rarely necessary for plot anyway. But these were really unnecessary. They did nothing. If anything, they were just distracting. Really distracting. I had to pause for like 20 seconds just to see how distracting it was.
Was that just him improving and they kept it in? Or just girls?
Bruce Willis in this did make up a lot of lines to try and just make the other cast and the crew laugh. So it's very possible that was just an improvisation that they kept in.
Okay. Then it just dawned on me at this point, why are they doing this on Christmas Eve? When it seems that they don't need it to be Christmas Eve for anything, but they just have way more possible witnesses and everything's way higher stakes. And it's probably a day where there's more police and more stress and more risk that they're not going to turn the power off and all that stuff. I think it was because I was getting a sense of how much the baddies seemed to know the tower. They seemed aware of where everything was and they were sneaking around all the ducts and stuff. They've clearly had lots of time to prep this. Was this a time-sensitive job? Did it have to happen just after they've closed this deal? Like maybe the deal was the reason they had all these bearer bonds in the safe or something. But other than that, I couldn't think of a reason it had to be tonight. I thought it's the worst fucking night to try and do it.
I had the theory that it had to be when there were lots of people there, but not like a whole building full of people, because his aim to kill most of them, so they couldn't tell if they died in that blast at the top. Could there be too many people to work out who was who, and by that point they'd be long gone?
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Because other than a Christmas party, how are you going to have that many people there late?
Did it have to be late?
Well, it's at night when there's less security, there's less people around.
Yeah, I guess that makes
People
sense.
are, a little bit drunk.
And Hans, he seems to know exactly what the police tactics are going to be. He wanted to be noticed, doesn't he? So he couldn't go when the building was empty on Christmas Day, so he needed to be noticed.
Edge is worried about McClane, but Hans wants him to chill and just lock him in the elevator shaft. So they have a bit of a back and forth about what to do about McClane. And then this is where you kind of get the sense that Hans is 5 steps ahead of the rest of his team. He's sharing with them as little as possible. So I got a sense someone was probably going to get pissed off and double cross him because they'd resent that, but it didn't really happen. Bruce catches himself falling. Okay, this pissed me off. He started falling down the elevator shaft, caught himself in like the most impossible way by his fingertips in a vent that was the size of him. And then he pulls himself into that vent. And the camera conveniently pans away for the impossible movement that would have been him doing a muscle up, which would have propped his elbows outwards and meant he can't fit into that hole. How are you getting into that hole? Doesn't make any fucking sense. You're not.
It doesn't make sense. But you know that bit where the strap slips and he falls? Originally, that wasn't planned. He was just going to reach over and go in. But when the stuntman did it, that happened by accident, and he did grab onto the next one below. I don't think that's the one that they kept in the film, because he would have been screaming. But that made the producer go, actually, yeah, we need a bit more stakes here. Imagine they were just filming it and going, that's slipping that. Do you want to tell the stunt guy? Nah, it'd be fine.
Then we have an image of Bruce in the air duct, turns on his lighter, and this is the image that I recognise. I've seen this exact picture now of him in the air duct, lighters on next to him, white vest. That's the one and only still I've ever seen from this movie, and I don't know what I've seen it on, maybe a poster, but I've seen that exact image and it got me a little bit excited.
And what did he say?
Come to the coast, blah, 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 that one.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
But he says it like he's referencing someone else that has told him that. Do we know that?
No.
No.
No, you don't. That's not part of any conversation in the film.
Oh, the baddie comes and starts pressing up on the air duct because he thinks he's found him, and I'm really pissed off that John didn't just shoot him there and then. He could have. He had a good shot. The other one has sort of turned his back, so he had a bit of time to get both of them. He just hesitated. I'm just more badass than John McClane, but it's fine. The vest is no longer white. He comes out of this air duct. Something in that air duct has turned his vest brown, which is pretty fucking gross. I'm assuming maybe it goes over the kitchen because it's just filled with grease or something, but it is no longer a white vest, which made me think. I've reflected and remember that I've probably seen people dressed as John McClane a lot of times now that I know that outfit with the white vest and the blood on it and stuff. And it seems weird that everybody's dressed as a very specific 25 minutes in this movie where his vest is white and has blood on it. Like, that's a very narrow part of this movie. One cop gets sent to check out a terrorism call with shots fired. One cop. That's fucking wild. So the cop naturally goes in, says, any terrorism happened here? Nope. Okay. See you later, then, mate. Doesn't even ask that. Doesn't ask anything about what's going on. Just goes in. Mind if I have a little look around? And then he walks like 5 steps, looks at the ceiling a couple times, and he's like, seems alright. And just fucks off. What was he looking for? In a 50-floor tower? What do you think he was going to see in the first 5 steps that was going to tell him whether or not there was a terrorism attack going on?
Did he get told it was a terrorism attack over the radio, or did they just say there was a possible hoax or something? I can't remember.
It was a code 2 is what he got told.
Ah, yeah. Whatever that means.
Don't know what a code 2 is. Cut to German guy with curly hair shooting at John. They're on like a zigzag of tables, and John's under the tables crawling. And the German guy stood on top of the tables, knows John is under the tables, but is only firing his gun not at the table. He's firing left and right of the table, almost trying to catch him in like a whack-a-mole situation rather than just shooting through the table like John does and then kills him. So it's a weird one.
When he was under the table, All the guns fire blanks, very loud blanks to pick up on the audio. Why they didn't add it in later, don't know. But because of that and the gun's proximity to his head, he deafened himself in his left ear for life.
Who no?
Bruce Willis.
So Bruce Willis is deaf in one ear.
He's lost like 50% hearing in one ear because of having a blank close to it.
We get 2 Merry Christmases from the policeman before he leaves. He says Merry Christmas twice and then hums a little Christmas song on his merry way. So yeah, definitely a Christmas movie. Then the cop's about to leave. John sees him. I was thinking, bro, the window has a hole in it. Just shoot through the hole or shout the cop through the hole in the window. And then he's like, no, I'm going to throw a body out the window instead. So yeah, that works too. Well done. He surprised me there because he's done the thing I wanted him to do, which was make sure he gets the cop's attention, but he did it in a way cooler way than I was thinking. The cop is like flapping, absolutely fucking flapping. He's just jammed his car in reverse, reverses off the edge of a very big ledge and nearly sort of dies and leaves his car hanging. The police arrive, so the movie must be over, right? That's what I thought. There were like 20 cars coming. Cool. Job done. Bad guy gets arrested. But Rickman is cool as a cucumber. John is just filing through a whole load of C4 that he's found in a bag and decides now is a good time to light up a cigarette. References Rambo, which is kind of cool. In my head, I grouped Rambo and Predator and Die Hard and stuff all in the same little category of just movies that came out in the 80s. So the fact that one was so influential to be named in another was really cool.
The third Rambo film came out in 1988, so 3 were out probably by this was out.
I've never seen them.
Do you know what? We should do a podcast about movies that we haven't seen.
Sounds like a stupid idea.
It does. Let's not bother. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that he referenced Rambo, because then that means in the Die Hard timeline, Rambo exists. Then we get Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We get it on the radio, which was not what I expected. And he basically whispered it. It was quite a subtle, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Like, that. It was that. It was really kind of chill, just a bit of a sign-off. It wasn't like a impact statement. It was just a Roy Rogers reference, which is cool. But why is that the thing that's hit pop culture so much? And why is it done in such a incorrect way that's not true to the movie? Does it come up in the sequels maybe?
Well, that line was improvised by Bruce Willis.
But then it was written into the film because they mention it again later, don't they?
It was a strange one, because had it not been so built up in my head, would I have even noticed it? Probably not.
Have you seen Terminator 1?
What do you think, mate?
Okay, you obviously haven't. Arnie's line, I'll be back, that is like this, where it's such a small, trivial point, and yet that blew up as the line from the film. Don't know, it just happens sometimes. It's weird.
A news segment, and we get way too many time spent learning about the reporters than we need. I even wrote their names in case they were going to be important later. Harvey Johnson and Gail Wallens, which I was like, I should just be watching the screen because I like Gail Weathers. And then we go to Hans. He is flapping because Heinrich's detonators are missing. And Theo is still just working on the drill and just cracking on. John's giving info to the police on the radio, which is like, it's slick as fuck, to be fair, the way he's doing this. Like, he's found a little channel that the police can pick up on his radio. He also knows Hans can hear him. So he's just giving as much concise information without giving anything away. It's really cool. It's done really well. You can tell he's playing someone who knows what he's doing, which is cool. He references a Schwarzenegger movies, which is, again, cool, because now Schwarzenegger movies exist in this world too. So I guess in the Die Hard world, there's implications of this, and I will work them out, I'm sure.
Just like our world, they have films.
No, because they don't have Die Hard in Die Hard.
The Die Hard timeline dovetails from ours at the events of Die Hard.
Yeah, in the Die Hard world, you have Arnie and you have Stallone, but you can't have the Expendables.
Oh no, what a terrible world that is.
For my dad, that's a bad world because there's no good movies.
I just realised as well when you said the newscaster's name, Harvey Johnson, was it?
Yeah.
There are 3 characters with the surname Johnson.
Oh, yes.
There are, because there's the FBI agent, Harvey Johnson. Who's the other one?
The other FBI agent.
That's the joke.
Johnson and Johnson.
Because the FBI agent comes in being like, Johnson, no relation. Why would they do that?
Just There's not that many characters that you need to recycle surnames. They don't give surnames to any of the terrorists.
John's wife being a union rep for the hostages. Oh, we need a comfier chair for the pregnant one or something. It's like, okay. And calling herself Miss Gennaro. Good girl. She knows what she's doing. Making sure they don't know she's married. I like that. Very clever. Argyle just getting absolutely fucking lit in the limo. Realising he's totally fucked it because he hears that there's terrorists in the building. He's just like, oh no, what the fuck to do now? And then we cut to all the cops outside. Is he an FBI agent? I'm not sure. The one that says he's the deputy chief. Is he the deputy chief of the LAPD or of...
Yeah.
Have you recognised him?
I know him, and I know he's always a fucking dick in everything he plays, but I can't remember where I've seen him. So where have I seen him?
Think of films that we've done on this podcast.
He's the fucking teacher
Yeah.
in Breakfast Club.
It's the exact same character, if it feels like.
Yeah.
He
Ob-
is
obviously, like-
such a dick.
Moonlighting as the police in his spare time.
I was like, I know his face, and I know he's a dick in everything I've seen him in. And yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for that. So yeah, he's just saying, basically ignore everything John says and assuming it's those darn kids being silly in Nakatomi Plaza.
A ruckus.
Ruckus.
He's not taking this seriously, despite no evidence it shouldn't be taken seriously.
They have a dead body.
They have, yeah, they're like, what about the dead boy that jumped out? Oh, it's probably just an unrelated depressed banker, which is, again, a fine thing to say in Andy's opinion. The police are about to come in, so the baddies start locking up the plaza, bringing down the random bars that are in the middle of the foyer, and the police look very, very poorly drilled and under-equipped. There's just 4 lads with some matching black clothes on and woolly hats, no helmets,
No helmets.
no body armor, just a backpack on one of them, which we later learn has a welding torch in it. These 4 lads are just chaotic energy. Like, they're running in no kind of order. They decide to stop in the middle of the open road for a bit of a cover check. And
Stack up
they're
against
just-
glass.
Yeah. Like, they've just taken 4 members of the public and be like, can you just... Here's some weapons. Can you just go and have a go at those terrorists? See how you get on? They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just run in a random order, stop in random spots, and then just run up to the door.
Fun fact about Uli, who is the terrorist that is waiting at the bottom for the police to come in next to the candy... What's the word I'm thinking of?
Stall.
Stand?
Kiosk.
Kiosk, good word.
The one with the funky facial hair.
Yes. Is that when he is waiting there and then kind of just looks down and picks whatever chocolate bar he picks up, that was completely improvised by him.
Nice.
There's loads of rappers around him and in the later scenes, isn't there?
Yeah, like 50 Cent Exhibit is like...
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Good shit. Good fact. Like that. The police are not pulling back, despite clearly not being prepared for this with their 4 lads. And then they decide to send in the car. I'm not sure what the plan with the car was. We don't know how many people were in it. We don't know what it was going to do once it maybe got through the front door. But it wasn't going to get up the stairs.
Into the lift.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to get through those bars that they brought down. So, I don't know. But they just had money to spend, so they wanted to blow up a car, I guess, which is cool.
The car struggled to go up steps. Why aim for steps?
Yeah, the banister almost took it out. But then, even though it got through the banister, it's not going to get through Triple H and his bazooka. They set up a massive bit of heavy artillery and just launched 2 missiles from the first floor window.
Yeah, it seems a lot higher when you're following them setting up. And then when you see it from outside, it's like, it's right above it.
It pans out and it's like, you are burning your face off, my guy. Very risky material. If that wasn't enough explosion, John just chucks a bagload of C4 down the elevator shaft of a tower that he is stood at the top of with hostages on floor 30, including his wife and a pregnant woman. He doesn't know how much of an explosion that's going to make. I certainly don't, so I don't expect him to. But he just launches this down there and blows up the fucking tower.
When he's doing that, he puts in like 2 detonators and goes, fuck it, and puts a 3rd one in. Does the number of detonators affect the C4 in any way?
In no way at all.
A current just has to pass between 2 and it It's going to take the shortest route and then it's going to activate. Yeah.
When one goes off, the rest are going to go off. So that was just a wild risk on his part. And the fact that the tower stayed up after that is crazy. But I guess C4 doesn't melt steel beams. Hans Gruber is then the name we learn. We learn his surname because the news seemed to have a bit of background on him, that he's been expelled from some terrorist group. Special Agent Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, like, "Oh, what are you trying to do? Kill everybody? We all just got covered in glass." And Bruce is like, "Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? Who the fuck is this?"
I've got 100 people down here and they're covered with glass.
Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? Who the fuck is...
Great quote. Love it. Enjoyed that one. The fact that that was his first interaction with this guy, he's trying to reprimand him for getting some glass on some passerbys. It was so funny. You know, his reaction was just perfect. He's like, "Who are you? I was talking to a policeman that seemed to have his head on straight. Like, who are you just trying to tell me off?" And then good old Al gets the radio back. He goes, "This is the funniest bit in the movie. Maybe my favourite part." He just goes, "Hey, Roy, how you feeling?" "Oh, pretty fucking underappreciated, Al." Hands down, funniest bit. I was laughing when it happened, and then I wrote it in my notes, and I was laughing when I wrote it. It's just so blasé the way he says it. It was great. He was just like, "I'm doing my best. Who's this idiot that's telling me off? I don't know what's going on."
I've just taken out several international terrorists and being told off for breaking a window. Yeah.
Ellis the Worm is up for some negotiation. It just feels like he hasn't heard his voice for a bit too long for his liking, so he decides he's going to go and start negotiating with terrorists.
I do not condone Ellis's sentences.
You sure about that,
It's
mate?
not what you said before.
It's not what you said not long ago. I can't tell if the actor is shit or if he's just playing a guy with no charisma who has read the game. But he's just doing lots of this. This is his move. And for the listeners, I'm just rotating my wrists. Like, he just does this every sentence. He's like, "Hey, I know you're a reasonable guy. You don't want to kill these people. How about we have a chat? We do a line of coke and we have a chat and we get some pizza and we get some coke and we get some pizza and you know, you're a busy guy. I'm a businessman. We can make this work." It's like, who do you think you are, mate? You've just come into this situation well beyond your depth. You could barely handle being a quiet hostage, and now you think you're just going to, like, talk this guy down from his very well thought out plan because of what? He's going to respect you for being a slightly mediocre businessman? You're not even a big deal here. So I didn't enjoy that whole interaction. Then he goes, "Hans, baby, I'm your white knight." And I went, "Yeah, you are a fucking white knight, you little incel." Ellis is about to give away the game. That's when we start to get now, like, Hans has decided, "Ooh, I can get some information out of this idiot." And we know that Ellis is about to tell him who his wife is or something, don't we? Like, we know that's about to happen. He's about to out John. And then we've got John and Al on the radio. Why the fuck are they talking about how many kids they've got on a radio they know terrorists are listening to? What are they doing? Help me understand.
Yeah, I don't know if they just keep forgetting terrorists to listen, but yeah, it's not great.
I get it a lot of the time. It doesn't seem to give away anything strategic, and it's just them venting, and maybe they're trying to humanize themselves for the terrorists or something, because this was far too much, and they've both been really good at not giving away important information, so it seems like that's a bit of a slip up. But emotions are high. Maybe that's just a time when you make a mistake. Hans knows who John is now. I've just put, "Cheers, Ellis, you dickhead." Ellis is getting poured a Coke, which probably paid for the explosion earlier. And then I'm thinking, are they push-to-talk radios? Because Ellis and John are interrupting each other quite a lot on the radio now, and I'm getting a bit confused.
Yeah, it was on IMDb as a goof for the film that they can interrupt each other on radios, which just wasn't allowed with those radios at the time.
Considering how much editing you'd have to do for that scene, you'd think it'd get picked up, wouldn't you? But I guess you're not going to reshoot. Ellis gets killed, which is a relief for everybody, I think.
It really is.
Stopped a lot of future date rapes. But how is this police guy such a moron? Deputy Chief Dwayne "The Rock" Robinson / Johnson, because I think he fucked up his own name at one point, is a fucking melt. He seems not to understand how humans work. He seems to think that John is doing this whole mind manipulation thing, and he's actually creating this whole narrative and trying to. He doesn't seem to understand that sometimes people just ask for help because they're in trouble. It's like, surely to get to the rank of deputy chief, you can't be that skeptical about people. Doesn't make sense to me. He's just a tool. He just needs to go to detention. Hans is demanding that some terrorist leaders get released. Obviously trying to throw them in the direction that all this is part of a terrorist revolution thing, which we later learn why he's doing that. And then I've put, is this meant to be an unreasonable demand? Because why would anyone even consider freeing all these terrorists for 30 random people to not die? You're definitely going to do net worse for humanity by letting those people out of jail. So is he meant to give a demand that's never going to happen? Because it's really wild.
Yeah, it seems like it's to buy time, to distract the police, and just give them like a false lead on what they're doing.
Because the FBI aren't there yet, are they?
No.
It might just be a draw to get the FBI in.
Maybe.
If you make it international as opposed to just a local thing.
Yeah, he was relying on the FBI being there, wasn't he?
Now Hans is starting to have some hints of an accent that really sucks, because he said Merry Christmas, but he went Merry Christmas. Very bad. And in that sentence when he said Christmas, it got a little bit German. I was like, that's really, really distracting. Then talking about how dumb Hans and the cops are being on the radio between John and Al is very funny. They just keep digging into how shit Hans is being while they know he's listening, which is kind of fun. Then we cut to the news. They're talking about Helsinki syndrome, which I'm guessing is on purpose to tell us how stupid the news team are.
Yeah. That was how I interpreted it as well. Just like they bring in an expert who's just like getting basic terminology wrong and stuff. It's good.
I did enjoy that.
Please explain.
I believe it's playing on Stockholm syndrome.
So Stockholm syndrome is the phenomenon where you get bonded with your captors.
I don't think Helsinki syndrome exists. Let's find a fictional term from the movie Die Hard that spoofs Stockholm syndrome. Yeah.
No, I think the Titanic had Sinky syndrome. So then the FBI arrive. This is when they come and take over, and they do that thing the FBI do where they're like, "Who's on this case? Who's in charge of this case?" And he goes, "I'm in charge." And he goes, "Not anymore. I'm fucking alpha, and I'm in charge of this case now." I'm like, yeah, cool. That's standard 80s bullshit. And that shrinks the deputy chief's tiny little balls even further, which is always good fun. Hans has just been spotted by John and decides he's going to act like he's one of the hostages. So John seems like he's being taken for a fool. Rickman is doing a very bad American accent.
Oh, the worst.
And I can't tell if he's doing a good job of doing a German guy doing a bad accent, or if he's doing a bad job of a bad German accent doing a bad American accent.
Based on just accents in the film, I don't think he can do them.
I don't think Alan Rickman can. Well, he definitely can't do accents now.
Oh. But it wasn't his strength.
I don't think it was his strength. No. I would have made a good joke then if I knew what he died of, but I don't. How did he die?
Hard.
Apparently he was praised for his Irish accent.
And
that killed him. Wow.
He did one good one and died.
He used all his power.
So this is a highbrow episode, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, super interesting. I've gone off on one here. His distinct voice is a speech impediment where his jaw is very tight, so he's unable to move his lower jaw properly. Just a little fact there.
That's interesting, though.
Thank you.
John tells Hans to stick with him. He does like a Rambo pose, because I've seen a picture of Rambo. Never seen Rambo, of course. But he looks like Rambo, because now he's wearing a brown vest. Like, it's been browned enough to be brown. And I know at some point Rambo wears a browny greeny vest, and he's stood holding a machine gun at his hips. I've seen Rambo in this pose, and then I googled it, and there is shot for shot Rambo standing in the same pose. That's definitely on purpose. That's quite cool. He tells him to come with him. Hans claims to be Bill Clay, and John recognizes that name from. I think it's telling us that John recognizes that name from the entry board, because it does a little flash to the board of names on building. So we know that's where he got his name from. But I couldn't tell if it was trying to tell me that Hans remembered that board, and that's how we thought of the name, or John remembered that board, and that's how he knows Hans is bullshitting.
Isn't that just a board next to the elevators that he's looking at when he's saying it?
I think either way, I couldn't tell if it was telling us Hans was looking at it or John was looking at it.
John was looking at it. Hans couldn't see it.
So how did Hans come up with a name?
Just guessed.
He guessed Bill Clay.
Yeah, and that name wasn't on the board.
No, but Clay was on the board.
Yeah, but it was a different initial. It was like W. Clay or something.
William and Bill surely are the same name. It's okay, Andy. You've had a long day.
No, it's not. Give me a sec. It does say W.M. Clay, so it could easily be William and Bill. Okay, I'm annoyed at that now.
1-0 to me.
So, John gives him a handgun. We kind of know that he's not giving him a loaded gun now, but there we go. Bruce is looking pretty ripped right now. Clearly been doing some pull-ups between takes as well as his stunts. I'm just enjoying looking at his muscles.
You okay, Andy?
Hans gets realised for being not Bill Clay, and there's a bit of a firefight, but all the baddies come rushing in, so John gets some good shots off at Triple H's legs and perforates them with his gun. I'm trying to work out how many bad guys are left, because there must only be a few now. There's Edge, Hans, and Theo at least. But there was actually one more that was minding the hostages. So there's like 4 guys left. Lots of gunfire now.
Yeah, I think this is the point where I noticed how bad the trigger discipline was from like everyone. There was some points where like they were sliding into cover while already firing upwards before they've aimed. And I don't know if it's just the special effects guys getting a bit too ahead of themselves and making the gunfire before the guys even aimed, or whether they were just holding the trigger to fire blanks at that time. Everyone was just shooting bullets in every direction. Just
the audio for about 25 seconds was just full auto gunfire and not a single mag change or stoppage. Then Hans has his bag of detonators, which he's happy about. I'm guessing that's what it is anyway, little red things. We find out that Al just shot a kid, which is his backstory. Doesn't go any deeper with it, just goes, I shot a kid. Didn't lose my job, so he just got moved to the office, because I don't know about your jobs, but if I murder a child in my job, like, that's wild. Okay, yeah, then is when we learn why it had to be labelled as a terrorist incident, because they needed to get the power cut for the electromagnetic locks. And then we go to the FBI agent who's telling the maintenance guys to turn the power off. And the maintenance guy's like, yeah, I could do that. There's a switch right here. And then the other one's like, no, dude, we're not allowed to do that. Like, do not fucking do that. We will lose our jobs and it has to get approval. But then the FBI guy's like, no, just do it. And he just does. There's clearly a system in place of approval for this kind of thing for a fucking reason that some random FBI agent can't just come and tell you to do it. It's power for a whole fucking city. So
yeah.
Probably need to like tell a hospital or something, not just turn it off willy-nilly because some random guy goes, well, I'm going to make sure you lose your job. I don't think you will lose your job for following the instructions that you meant to. I think you might lose your job for killing all the people in the hospital. So that was a weird one. Then the safe opens and there's this really triumphant music. I don't know, I feel like it's got like a British undertone sometimes when it plays. It's like that one. No, it's not Rule Britannia. It's a different one. It sounded like it.
It's definitely not.
What was
Rule
it?
Britannia.
But it was like it. What fucking was it? It was probably Hans Zimmer.
Ode to Joy. It's the Peggle music. Do you play Peggle?
I do play Peggle, but I don't know what the music sounds like. I can't remember. But no, I got it now. That one.
Yes.
Real triumphant and a bit kind of jolly and silly. Kind of struck a weird jarring tone because it wasn't like... It then cut to them like just stealing the papers and stuff from the safe. And I feel like there wasn't enough funny, wacky things to have it work in that way. And it wasn't a dark enough crime they were committing to work in a kind of juxtaposition way. You know how Clockwork Orange has that? They're doing like ultra violence while that kind of music's happening. That works. And this was just a bit, it felt lazy and it felt like it could have done better. I think they just should have picked a different type of music to suit it a bit better.
Now you're assuming it's part of the film as opposed to when those vault doors open, that music plays every time.
Like a music box.
When that opens, Hans's hair just flickers a bit. It's like, why is there a dust in there?
It's almost too fake, isn't it? It's like that holy glow coming to them, Raiders of the Lost Ark thing.
Yeah, if they were robbing gold, maybe I can get why you do that, but it's paper.
I think they were going for that vibe. Maybe they were trying to reference one of those treasure movies where you open the treasure box and the gold beams out. Because, they reference Rambo and they reference Predator, so maybe it's a thing. Off to the reporters. Just going to preface this bit again. Andy, totally okay with all the events that happen in this movie, approved by him. So we've got two reporters that show up to John's house and tell the nanny who is working overtime on Christmas Eve to make ends meet that they're going to get her deported if they don't let them go in and traumatize their children by telling the children that their parents are going to die. So yeah, that's all fine, isn't it, Andy? All good, mate?
I wish I could comment.
I mean, it's quite clear that that guy is a bad guy.
Yeah, he's not.
So not okay. I was really mad at this bit, I think. Just the blasé bit of just being like, don't you want us to go and tell those kids their parents are going to die? It's like, well, no, not really. That'd be a terrible idea.
Also, why assume that she's an illegal entrant? Like, there's no reason to believe that. She could just be a nanny that works there. Like,
it worked.
There's no reason.
Implying she is.
Because she had an accent and her name ended in a vowel. I think that's what they're going off. Which is good shit.
I don't feel like she did hire an illegal immigrant. It's just if someone's threatening you with that and you're of a certain ethnicity in America, it doesn't matter if you're legal or not. They may try and deport you.
So John finds a fuck ton of C4, reports it on the radio, and Edge puts a rifle to his face, and then they have a fight. Hans gets the suspicion now because he's heard that John has a kid. No, he's seen the kids on the TV doing the method of journalism that was approved by Andy. He's seen the kids on the TV, and they've said like, "Oh, your mum and dad are brave," and the kids are just like, "Come home, mum." And that has somehow made it tick for Hans that Miss Gennaro is their mother. And I'm really not sure why. Like, I'm not sure why those are the two things. Like, is she the only other woman apart from the pregnant woman there? I don't know why that has made him immediately go, you're the mum of those kids.
I don't know if it's her reaction to seeing her child on the TV that they've got on. I don't know if it's the other pictures that she's got up, which is blatantly her and her kids. But a lot of kids look alike at that sort of age, so it's not...
You wouldn't recognise them from a photo if they were on the news. Have you had other things on your mind, like planning a heist?
But he immediately, within a split second, picks up that family photo in the office and is like, it's you with John and the kid. To have immediately picked that up, there must have been some little inkling in the back of your brain thinking, there's a photo turned down there. I should look at that at some point.
Imagine he did that and it was just a really embarrassing picture of her at Disneyland with like Goofy and the kids.
Didn't Ellis give away a bit? Or Harry?
Ellis.
What's his name?
Ellis
Is it Ellis or
gave
Harris?
away... No, because Ellis just gave away John's name. Ellis was making out that they were friends that went way back and didn't mention her, which is what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to give away that she was there. But he was too busy trying to make himself the centre of attention.
Or get John killed so he could have her.
So yeah, I don't know how Hans came to this revelation that she must be with John, but immediately went, this is the photo that proves it. Boom, there you go. It was weird. Cut to the police in the chopper who are just okay with losing 20 to 25% of the hostages, again endorsed by Sergeant Andy. McClane takes a shot to the back of the shoulder and then takes Edge out from the top rope. And then we hear Hans say... I am an exceptional thief, Mrs. McClane, and since I am moving up to kidnapping, you should be more polite. Very Snape of him. Very, very Snape line. And quite dark in a way, because he was kind of maybe suggesting, I've gone up to kidnapping, who knows what else I might do. Pretty dark. But yeah, very Snape. And then the cops are just harking about Vietnam and Saigon and getting way too excited about killing civilians, rapidly flying that chopper through the busy streets of New York. It was all a weird scene, and I didn't like how excited they were when they were coming.
I did like, though, that it was the older Johnson that was like going on about Saigon, but I liked how the younger one is calling him out on it, saying, I was in junior high, dickhead. Like, quite often when the film does these kind of tropey things, they've got another character there going, the fuck are you doing? I do like that about the film.
In general, the other guy wasn't much better. He was still okay with just going and killing them all. Wasn't as much of a veteran nose about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's not great.
And it wasn't the streets of New York. It was streets of LA.
I just assume everything is New York. It's like how everything in Britain is London, right?
Everything in France is Paris.
And they're palm trees.
Do I know where palm trees are?
I'd like to think that you would know they're not New York.
I do not know that piece of information. Also, I feel like it's a rich area. You can just plant shit. But yeah, that's just me being dumb. Don't worry about that too much. John is just cutting through the bullshit and killing everyone now. He's making his way up to the roof and he's stopped having big fights with people and he's just shooting them. So he just kills a guy and warns the hostages to get downstairs because the roof's going to blow. And after all that alpha bullshit in the chopper, they miss one single target with billion shots. They can't even shoot John, who's running in a straight line. So they're just dumb.
After the shooting at him and he dives off, did you notice anything about John?
Apart from all his like rippling muscles and stuff that I usually notice, no.
He had rubber feet on and you could clearly see like a gap around them.
He had rubber feet on.
So he didn't injure his feet when they were running around. They had prosthetic rubber ones over them. Most of the time you don't see it because his trousers cover the joint, but in that scene you can quite clearly see it. I've never noticed it before and it ruined it for me a little bit, but there you go.
Shit movie. And then John decides to tie a fire hose to himself, and I've just put at least turn the water on. That might do something, but just tying a hose to your waist and jumping off a building, you're going to die. He says, I hope I don't die. And I've written, no, you will die. You will just die. This will kill you. This will snap your spine and you will die. But he doesn't die, which is weird. There's no reason for him not to die. He got the hose out, and initially I thought he was going to fire water at the helicopter. So I didn't even see this coming. It was such a stupid idea, but it worked. And then he decides to smash through the glass. Another of his fantastic ideas. Not a cut on him after he goes through that glass. Covered in blood after snapping someone's neck, but he has just smashed his whole body through a window pane and not a cut on him. Chopper gets taken down. John takes cover in a very small pond and he is okay. He starts making his way up from the foyer and a Christmas tree falls down, which is very sad.
Christmas tree tick.
We already saw the tree earlier, but yeah, it's really in view and it just slowly falls to the floor, which is, I don't know, symbolic, maybe? Who knows?
Christmas is over.
Argyle is still there. He's seen them drive an ambulance out of the lorry and does not have a clue what's going on, and neither do I. John has got 2 pistol rounds left, and he sees some Christmas tape and some wrapping, and I know this now. I didn't know that this was a Die Hard thing, but I know he's about to tape the gun to his back. I don't know why I know that, okay? I think it might be from Community.
Possibly, yeah.
I feel like it might have been one of the paintball episodes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But I knew he was about to tape a gun to his back. Then there's loads of bearer bonds just getting scattered on the floor, which just really stresses me out for the rest of the fucking movie. All these bearer bonds worth 100 grand each just throwing around the place. Don't like it. Don't like it. It stresses me out. And then we get Hans! And he's like limping down. And you can see his John McClane's silhouette walking through this fiery corridor. Hi, honey. Which is quite funny. I know there's a gun taped to his back now, but I don't think Bruce Willis knows that because he's walking in this really side-on limp. So the guy who stood in front of him, not Hans, would actually have a really fucking good view of that gun. Hans tries to be funny and says, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," in a very bad accent.
Oh, so bad.
And then it is the tape thing. He pulls out the gun and shoots both of them, 1 shot each. Bearer bonds scatter from the sky everywhere again. The lady friend of his, she's dragged out with Hans, and the Rolex nearly gets her killed, symbolizing that all John needed to do was free her from all that darn success which a lady of her time had no business having. Hey, Andy.
I just feel that the trappings of greed are a
slippery slope.
She was just a lady doing her job well and got a nice Christmas bonus for it. But yeah, I think there was something to this. I think it was something, a little bit symbolic. Getting into this new life too much is going to get her into trouble, and she needs to go back to the things that she loved and missed, and that's John and the protector in John that was there for her. And then him falling out the window and I think it might be one of the agents on the ground just going, "I hope that isn't a hostage." It's a good bit of fun. Enjoyed that. Then we sort of cut to like one of the last sort of scenes, which is just bearer bonds kind of looking like snow coming down, a bit of Christmas music filtering through, and you get a bit of a closer look, and most of them are a blank piece of paper, which is a bit fucking annoying. But the gesture's there, and it's good. I like it. It's very Christmassy scene. You've got the emergency services.
Copy of paper from the exploded office.
I guess,
Or,
yeah.
I don't know.
And then he has a bit of a nod to Al. They immediately recognize each other, even though they've only had each other's voices. And I was like, I would literally wrote, and I was saying in my head, I was like, hug him, you bitch. And then they hugged, which is just the bromance in this was nice. And it was just, again, that kind of thing that wasn't, two big burly men hugging, not always seen this time, day and age. And it was nice and refreshing. And then she gets herself to be called Holly McLean, which is just a bit of beautiful. So obviously they've had a nice little rekindling. And then old fucking Deputy Chief Knobhead is like, I want a debriefing with you. Let me debrief you. Debrief you. Murdered everybody. I'm a debrief you. Blah, blah, blah. And then Edge is back from the dead and he comes in for a fucking Hell in a Cell rematch. And
Were they carrying him down in a body bag and he ripped himself out of it or something? Because you don't really see how he got behind them, but he like rips some kind of cover off himself.
And this motherfucker was hanging from a chain by his neck. Like,
yeah.
That's a real WWE storyline. And then Al got him, shot him in the fucking head. Demons are gone from killing that poor child. Obviously that child's parents still have a dead child, but Al's demons are gone, and that's the important thing.
Al's back on the street with a fire.
Yeah, so that's great, isn't it, Andy? Really good.
But then he gets a bit carried away, doesn't he? Is that a car? I'll shoot that too. Like, no, Al.
What's that, a ray gun? Everyone's very, very relaxed about seeing this murder, and then a random limo just bursts through the wall. I know John is able to tell Al, that guy's with me. No one else knows that or can hear that. Everyone else has just seen a man get shot in the head and then a limo drive through this dead-ass building, and no one is reacting. They're all just kind of walking around doing their job still. She punches the news person, which is great because he had that coming at least. That's great because he deserved a bit of a punch after traumatizing her kids. And then John and Holly have a little sus in the limo, which is beautiful. And then Let It Snow starts playing. And in what fucking world is this not a Christmas movie? And that is Die Hard. I watched Die Hard. I'm no longer a person that hasn't watched Die Hard.
So the quotes, did you think you spotted them all of Andy's quotes?
I think so.
'Cause we had 5.
There was 5. There was the ho ho ho.
Yeah. Which you said, now I have a stocking because he stole a foot. Yeah, exactly.
I was just I was referencing the rubber foot thing. So
yeah, I see. Yeah.
There was the glass. I don't give a shit about glass.
Yeah.
Jesus, who gives a shit about Jesus as he breaks the nativity scene?
Yeah. There wasn't any Jesus in this.
Okay. Number 3, welcome to the danger zone, pal, is what you said.
What the fuck was it? I missed that completely.
When he throws the body out the window to Al and it hits his car, he shouts, welcome to the party, pal.
Oh.
He's involved now.
I had forgotten about Welcome to.
Come out to the coast, you got that one?
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't right about that, was I? Although kind of what he's referencing might have been correct. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like a conversation he must have had with Holly before the film. That's the reason he's flown out there.
Yeah,
isn't
like
it?
she
So
may
she's saying,
may
just come
well
to
have
the
been
coast.
like, oh, don't work overtime on Christmas and do dangerous shit. But nah, I was definitely thinking like he was going to get sent on a secret mission and someone was going to tell him not to go on that mission and just go and chill.
You did get yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, but you thought it would be following a killing spree rather than just a casual sign-off.
Just a nice little sign-off, wasn't it? Lovely bit of business.
Do you want to go into your other predictions?
Oh, yeah, if you got them there.
So you knew there was a character called John McClane, and you thought he was going to be some kind of policeman.
Correct. Genius over
Correct.
here. Yeah.
There's a big tower in it somewhere.
Oh, do you know what? I'm astounded by the level of genius I am about this movie that came out 28 years ago.
The word you used was on his way up the tower, he kills a lot of bad guys.
Yeah, I thought there was just going to be like, in an old video game, a boss at the top.
Like a GoldenEye level.
And you just,
yeah.
because Andy even said he played the video game and there were 99 floors. And I was like, oh, there's going to be 99 floors and the boss is on 100th floor and he just has to kill everyone on the way up.
I also said it had nothing to do with the
No
film.
bearing on the film, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't listen to that.
So you said Alan Rickman is a baddie and he's playing an ethnicity he has no business playing.
I think I nailed that one, if I'm honest. I don't think he knew what ethnicity he was playing.
I think he gave up halfway through trying.
He tried at least once or twice to go German and immediately mid-sentence regretted it.
When he was doing the German lines, it wasn't bad, but yeah, speaking English in a German accent was not good.
No, yeah, he did actual speaking German, which was fine, yeah. But it's really hard to do a German accent and not sound over the top camp. So he did err on the side of caution, which I can respect. The character doesn't really need to be German, to be honest.
I know, they had people on the team who were not German, so he could have just been the British guy on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was that one that he said something German to, and he was just like, "What?" And he went, "Shoot the glass."
He asked the German guy to do something in German. He was like, "I don't understand."
Yeah, and those Germans look very Scandinavian to be German.
Yeah.
Very pretty and
Why do you think that?
supermodelly.
Why do you think that is, though?
I don't
Are
know.
you pausing because you don't know?
I feel Amy's being racist, and I don't know why.
Post-war Aryan ideals.
I'm not the racist one, yeah.
I think she's being clever in a way I'm not.
It's okay.
Yeah. You thought there would be crawling and air ducts. There was. You thought there would be some memorable quotes.
Oh, 100%. I'm taking pretty fucking underappreciated to work with me every day.
Thought it'd be a Christmas film.
Yeah, absolutely. And where do you guys land on this?
I made myself clear I was 100% Christmas film at the beginning. It's a Christmas film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why it can't be if Home Alone can be. So
Yeah. That's what I don't get. I'd love to speak with someone now who says it's not and find out why it's not.
So I looked up why people think it isn't. They think it's just an action film set at Christmas.
That's not saying why it isn't. That's just proposing something else it also is.
It also doesn't help that it came out in July.
But so did Jesus.
That's a really
Christmas films come out at Christmas, come out November, December.
it didn't come out in July to us. We just rented it later.
Yeah.
People think that it's more of a background setting than being integral to the plot. And those wrong people think that if it's to be a Christmas movie, it has to be like a plot centered on those holiday themes.
So Santa had to save the hostages.
Yeah. We've discussed how a Christmas party is central to the whole plan of the villain.
Yeah.
John's not even going to be there if it's not Christmas. Die Hard doesn't
True.
happen if it's not Christmas. They all just die.
It's not Christmas without Die Hard. I mean, it's not Die Hard without
It's
Christmas.
not Die Hard without Christmas. Yeah, I can't understand it. Like, yes, it is an action film that is set at Christmas time, but Christmas isn't a genre. It's a time. It's like saying it's not a summer movie. It's just a movie set in summer. You could just say it's a rom-com that happens to be set at Christmas. Love Actually isn't a Christmassy. Doesn't have to be Christmas.
that could work at any point in the year.
Home Alone could have been any trip.
Snowman could just be February.
Yeah. Santa Claus could have been anything. Yeah, I can't get behind it not being a Christmas movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm probably never going to watch this movie again. Definitely not at Christmas time. But that just means it's not a Christmas staple for me. I could totally see this being a Christmas movie for people.
I mean, it's centered around family. It's centered around how John McClane loves his wife, around how Hans Gruber loves money. There's conflict. There's resolution. What more do you need in a heartwarming Christmas film?
Kids getting traumatized by adults.
Christmas. That was it for your predictions.
I think I did all right.
I'm not going to ask, would you now go and watch the sequels? Because I really wouldn't recommend them.
Would you not?
I don't remember enough about Die Hard with a Vengeance, but anything after that, certainly not.
See, I'm curious about the sequels. I wouldn't watch this again. I think it was okay. But I don't know if it has anything to offer me on a rewatch. But I've grown to like John.
You have thoughts on the sequels, Andy? Or?
I would say 2 felt more like a money grab, just kind of redoing the same themes. 3, I would say, is good, and anything after that is just no good, because it's not the same John McClane.
I hope it's given you a new perspective on what an 80s action film can be,
And a Christmas film.
and what Christmas films can be.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't have a broad scope of 80s action films that I've seen. So to be pleasantly surprised by one and go in and actually see some fairly progressive themes and be misdirected by what I thought were going to be cliches. Like, that's quite nice, to be fair. So I'll probably go into other 80s action films with a bit of a cleaner slate because of this. It's probably set me up quite well for other movies I've not seen of the genre.
It's set the bar, yeah. Everything, a lot of things fall below it, sadly, but it set the bar.
Like, say they had cast Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger instead of Bruce Willis. Do you think they would have done the scenes where he's like telling Officer Powell about saying goodbye to his wife for him, or like those moments where they do like show intimacy with the hugs and stuff? Would that have worked as well with like a big muscle guy as opposed to Bruce Willis?
No, I think it works with him being quite human, doesn't it? And not being like, hey, tell my wife I love her. I love her. I'm so sorry. I got these big muscles and I'm not going to be able to hug her with my big muscles. It works nicely, I think. And he's just a very human looking guy. Like, you, at this point in life, you could walk past him in the street and not know who the fuck he is. Like, he's just a man, looks like a man. I think that works for him.
I don't think he would have hugged Al at the end. He probably would have given like a bro fist or a handshake or something.
A slap on the back.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Is that a Predator reference? A film you've not seen?
That was.
Was it?
Yeah. Weird.
I'm fucking meta.
You must have seen that in something.
To be fair, there are a lot of memes of that.
That is a gym bro thing, yeah.
So, Rhys, if you had to rate the film 0 to 10, what would you give it?
Oh, I definitely enjoyed it. And if we're going with that 5 is just kind of watchable, I'd push this around 7.5. Let's give it 7.5. It was on the good side of watchable. I'm probably not going to watch it again. Like I said, I don't think it's got much to offer and rewatch. But yeah, it's on the good side, and it does, for its time as well, very, very, very good job. 7.5, I think, is fair.
Good score.
Much better than the last one.
Yeah.
I feel like this is quite often when we do this and we watch films, like we did with the Da Vinci Code, we end up almost not liking the film as much as we did if we just watched it normally. But I feel like with this film, that didn't happen, and it was quite nice to get to the end of the film and think, yeah, this is still a good film. It hasn't been pulled apart quite a lot. It's kind of stood up to it really well.
Yeah.
Mostly. Some parts did not stand up.
Yeah. Well, no, you were quite clear on your feelings there, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't mention Andy's agreement of the racial slurs.
Which ones?
Would you like to repeat the racial slurs? I must get missed then.
Andy, could you remind us of the racial slurs?
No.
So I had to ask someone what these meant.
Which part of the film do you mean? I don't.
So it's something that Ellis says just before they shoot him.
Oh.
I don't remember. I can't remember what context. Can you remember, Andy, with the things you agree with?
The context is he's coming in and he's saying he doesn't care who his disagreements are with, and then he makes some racial slurs about different ethnicities or subgroups.
What does he say?
I'm not going to repeat that.
Microphone to Andy's face. What do you say? We won't play the clip.
Nope.
Why did that bit not register?
The other one
to
I
me?
couldn't.
Usually, oh God, yep, I just saw it in the subtitles. Oh boy.
Yeah, I was shocked when he said that because I totally blanked. To be fair, I blanked Ellis out. I blanked out his.
Yeah, I didn't like it when he was on screen.
Yeah, I'm never gonna stick my neck out like that again. The amount of things that you forget when you haven't seen a film in a while. Jesus Christ.
Did you only recall the fact he gets kissed by a man and didn't punch him and went, yeah, this film's progressive?
I remembered more his bromance with Al. I just couldn't think of any like obvious sexism because he doesn't interact with women at all, so it's hard to be sexist. But it was there with Argyle in the car. I was like, oh, great.
Oh, yeah, I suppose this movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test either.
No, I was just thinking, have we had one yet that does?
No, we're only doing good movies. What was the bit, Andy? Because you mentioned in the pre-watch there was a part that you felt
Cannibalism.
I don't know about the cannibalism.
It was such a deep cut that even at the time I was like, oh, okay.
When he's fighting with Carl, he jumps on his back and he says, you can see it in the subtitles, he says, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to cook you, and I'm going to eat you.
Nice. I like it.
I mean, what a way to throw off your opponent when you're trying to kill him.
But you said there was a bit that didn't age badly. You said there was a bit that is probably more acceptable now than it was at the time.
I think I might have said that. And I think it was just about the general swearing and violence that is now much more accepted than it was.
Maybe that's why the Yippee-ki-yay line hit so hard then, because it was like, oh, he said motherfucker. Like, it was more about that bit than Yippee-ki-yay.
Especially if it was attached to a children's show. Yeah.
Makes sense. And that is Die Hard.
Thanks for listening. And remember, no hostages were harmed in the making this episode, and the only thing we dropped off a building was our own credibility. Bye for now.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Ho, ho, ho.
Now I've seen Die Hard. Ho, ho, ho.
In the back street where shadows crawl, we sift through films big and small. Projectors flicker, tapes rewind, chasing stories we have yet to find. It's a dead spot cinema club. We've seen some things, but we haven't seen enough. With popcorn dreams and midnight screams, we're chasing scenes through broken beams.